Hello, everybody. So I came up here today for a flag wave that actually just ended as I got here. And there wasn't very many people, but there was a couple brave souls that came down or came up or wherever they're from and decided to brave the weather. Even though right now it looks super sunny, right? But there's a lot of clouds surrounded by them. Nice over there, though. So I figured that even though the flag wavers might have disappeared, might as well come and show you guys what is still going on at the Washington State Capitol. Hey guys. So as you can see, still got the fence up. Lots of state patrol still sitting here guarding. And there's quite a few, just normal everyday people just kind of hanging out. Do I know Eddie Block Films? I do not. I do not know this person. There's some big events coming up next weekend. Oh, yeah, there's no National Guard. Oh, speaking of National Guard, though, how'd you guys like the FBI screwing the country over again with another lie? Wasn't that cool? Wasn't it on the 4th? I think as they said, there's supposed to be this huge armed insurrection on the 4th, and nobody showed up. Washington Post sent out 5 of their best reporters all over the place to report on all the violence and the mayhem and the murder. And then the media tried taking credit for stopping it, even though it never existed in the first place. It goes to show how stupid Americans really are, guys. It really does. There's people out there that actually believe the media. And they actually believe such a corrupt and worthless institution like the FBI. And, don't get me wrong, there's people out there that believe Q as well. So, there is that. It's not only one group of people, one political spectrum, that it happens. But sorry for stopping. No more talking at the moment. I'm reading what Richard said about being live at 2 p.m. Said there was supposed to be a lot of Antifa. Yeah, I don't know who that is. I know that Antifa is supposed to destroy Olympia, Seattle, Portland. It's funny, these guys here just walking by laughed, even though they've they've made it very public. And Antifa is one of the few that actually do follow through. So that's fun. See, that's what I mean. Even idiots that live here. They live here in a place like Olympia where they've watched Antifa destroy areas and assault people. They still go, no, Antifa doesn't exist. No, it's not real. No, Antifa didn't break any windows. God, they're so... I want to live in their world. I want to live in their fantasy. Their fantasy world of delusion and just sadness. Because they have to be sad. Not living in a real world. Because it's got to be full of nothing but disappointment if you think about it, right? Or maybe that's why they live in it, so they're never disappointed. Because they're just always no, the real world doesn't exist. There's nothing real in it. But they still have to survive, right? Pay bills. Eat. Have a job. I don't get it. I just don't understand. So it's funny. Um, yeah, Richard, let me know. Let me know if anything's going on. I know that Antifa's just been posting a lot about how they're supposed to be busy tonight. The feds, the government, city and federal and state have put out notifications to all their workers saying, be careful out there. Sure would like to know where the FBI says that they got their information about the 4th, though, right? The big armed insurrection. Oh, they said they changed it to the 20th. That's what it was. Changed it to the 20th. So dumb. Well, sorry I missed the flag wave. They ended it early. Jake got his truck messed up. Well, looks like Jake might have gotten stung after all. It's too bad. It's too bad. Bard's Eye News. If you're on Telegram, go on there and shoot me a message. The link is in the description. Shoot me a message on there. Man, how bad was his truck messed up? So far, the worst I've gotten is all 4 tires slashed. That was a pretty bad day. And then I had like some sort of weird grease, waxy thing smeared all over it too. So Jake, I don't have a problem with Jake. Let me make that clear. I don't have a problem with Jake. The other day when Antifa kept on calling me Jake and chasing me around, I was not happy with Jake at that moment because, he's out there as an instigator, so he's made himself a target, which, he's never been stung before, I guess, until this morning. Which I think for Jake will make it so he will be even more angry. And I get it. I understand. Oh, the tires were brand new. So Antifa, back when I used to own a FJ Cruiser, and Antifa would slash a tire or 2 at a time. And I went through probably 10 different sets of tires. I mean, honestly, 5 or 6 different complete sets of tires over the course of about 2-3 years. So yeah, they got me a lot. The Washington State Capitol is definitely still fenced in. So, but it wasn't his fault, right? No, Jake actually, the first time Antifa crowded me, Jake actually came up, or he was like a block below me at the time. And then all of the Antifa guys got off of me and started chasing Jake when they realized that the actual Jake, had appeared. So he ended up getting followed. The way I was followed was pretty bad, but Jake was followed relentlessly by Dustin as well for a while, just kind of going in circles until his rescue truck showed up and took him out of there. So I'm glad he got out of there as well. That's good. That was good. But it was, it was a pretty bad night. Yeah, Jake and I have talked since then. Because I got, some people were like, hey, Robert's got a problem with you. You should probably talk to him, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, well, no, I don't necessarily have a problem with you. I was not happy with you that day because they thought I was you and they were chasing me around, calling me you. And Jake's channel is Behind Enemy Lines on Facebook, and I think also on YouTube as well. Come show you the fence since I saw somebody asked. I don't sync plans with people for the most part. I will on occasion. That night I knew Jake was coming out, but that was pretty much it. I didn't know what his plan was or anything like that. I knew Antifa was gonna be out there doing stuff, and I knew Jake was gonna be out there, and that was it. I like keeping my plans pretty close to the chest. Other channels like me out there, yes. Not as many as there used to be, but let's see. Black Rebel, he live streams a lot. Then you got Villain Phoenix, even though he's not really live streaming so much anymore. He's kind of going through some stuff. Primetime News. Richard, that's a good idea for sure. It's funny, it's not the first time that they've misidentified me. They actually, during the Red House occupation or whatever in Portland, there was another streamer that came down. I don't even know who he was. And they took a picture of him and said it was me. And I'm like, nope, that wasn't me. I was actually somewhere else at the time. So try again. Well, and it's funny too, because when they were chasing me, when they were following me around, like they're all crowding up on me, more and more people kept on coming and kept on showing up behind us. And people were like, is that Jake? And eventually, after they finally realized that I wasn't Jake, they were like, no, that's not him. We don't know who he is, because I wasn't about to tell them. And sorry, I'm jiggling. There's a rain cloud coming, so I'm putting my umbrella up. And they were like, yeah, he seems way taller than Jake. And I'm like, well, I'm about 6 inches taller than Jake, actually. So that's a clue. I'm really surprised Dustin didn't recognize me either. Like, he's handicapped, I think, more than just physically. We've had a couple conversations previously, and he said the exact same stuff to me that night that he said to me before. Like, well, you streamers, you guys get people hurt. Ooh, Black Conservative Preacher, yes. Even though he does more shows stuff, right? Quincy now. I don't know if Quincy goes out much. I know he was out at one of the flagways the other day. Yeah, the Independent just said, did you guys know the guy who put his feet up on Nancy's desk is still in jail and he's facing 12 years in prison? No, yeah, that is absolutely disgusting. The simple fact that they're charging these people who on the 6th with what they are charging them with, even people who didn't touch anything, they were just inside the building, and the fact that they're still in jail and they're shipping them across the country to be in jail. And yet you go to places like Portland or Olympia or Seattle, and all these people are let out. Charges dropped. Felony assault charges dropped. Felony theft charges dropped. Like, it's what'd they say? It was like 83% of the people who were charged during the riots over the last entire year gone. Yeah, we equal justice is one of the pillars of our country. And it's one of the key pillars of our country. And we don't have that anymore. And not only do we not have that anymore, nobody's standing up against it either. Nobody's standing up to fix it. A lot of people complain about it, but not very many people actually do anything about it. Like this flag wave here. This flag wave that happened here today, when I came by, there was two people. And a couple weeks ago, it was like 10. Tomorrow, there's a flag wave in Richfield, at the overpass in Richfield. And I bet there will be the same amount of people there too. It's too bad. Oh, see, Froggy, that's the difference. That is the big difference. The difference is that we condemned the people who broke the law, who rioted on January 6th. We condemned them. The left still cannot condemn Antifa. And the left still cannot even acknowledge Antifa. We're not complaining that there's people who are involved with the riot in jail. We're complaining that there's people that have been rioting for the last 5 years who aren't even being charged. That is the problem. Equal justice, one way or another. Either you charge nobody or you charge everybody. That's really what it comes down to. Equal justice, equality. Political persecution is what you find in places like, I don't know, Cuba. Share, what are the gun laws here? The gun laws here are $65, and you don't have a record, you can get your concealed. And Washington is an open carry state. We don't have any stupid classes or special anythings. You just got to pass a background check and pay $60 or $55. I think they lowered the price actually, and then you get your concealed. And it's a shall issue state as well. Oregon is also a shall issue state, but you have to take a stupid class for it, and nobody accepts their permit, and Oregon accepts nobody else's permit. I got my umbrella up just in time. Here comes the monsoon. You got here right when the rain did.
Off and on. Yeah, I thought it was going to be at least a couple hours. They showed up at 11:30 and left at like 1.
The flag wave?
Yeah.
Yeah, usually they started at noon 30.
And I heard your comment. I was listening to everything. So I think there's like 4 or 5 people.
Yeah. When I drove by at 12:38, 12:40, somewhere around there. and there was just 2 people still sitting out there when
I knew it was gonna be small. I was just actually gonna take pictures and maybe a quick video. I wanted to ask him, why are you doing this? Because I know that's what all the people passing by are thinking.
Right.
They're only connecting it with Trump
Yep.
and not thinking of anything else.
And they haven't been waving Trump flags for a while
Yeah.
either. And but they'll still come by and, Trump lost and F Trump and play the songs.
So on the 13th, there's like 3 or 4 different groups getting together.
Yeah.
Some are kind of converging.
Yep.
The Second Amendment guys will not be merging with the other group. I think they're not really interested in having that vibe. And I'm not sure where they're setting it up, if it's going to be here, or I heard Heritage Park, but I've seen flyers for the same people saying both. So
Yeah, same. Either way, there's supposed to be a lot of people. We'll see.
Again, I live here, so my focus is here, and I'm not doing the same kind of work you do. Generally, I like to go to events and I film the event, I film the speakers, and maybe if something else has happened, I'll go check it out.
Right.
That's not my focus.
Right.
This
Yep.
is my real job, is photography. It's hard to do that when people are trying to shoot you or something, or stab or shank you.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
But we'll see. But I'm more than willing to put away my video camera and use this and follow you around if you ever want some of the photo stuff. Because I just can't do both and watch my six.
Right. Well, and that's one of the reasons why I film, just because it's so, I can do this. I can hold it like this,
Oh, yeah,
and I
always
can do this. Look around and look behind me, and people, and I'm live streaming and I'm talking, giving updates, and all of a sudden I'm silent for a while. They're like, "Wait, what's happening?"
If you see me at an event, I'm usually like this. I'm usually low, and if you come anywhere near me, I'm usually looking at you.
Yeah. Yep.
But 5 tours in Afghanistan taught me that.
And a lot of people don't understand that this stuff gets, this can get hairy. This can get really, really hairy really quick sometimes.
Well, I know a few of you guys who are pretty dedicated to being in the thick of it have, been shanked or hit from behind, different things.
Yep.
I mean, I've been lucky. I've been threatened a few times and someone threw a rock at me. So
I've had a couple bricks to the chest. This thing here has saved me a few times. That's one of the reasons why I always wear it. Most of the time I always wear it.
Still haven't got one, but I'm really tempted. But I bought lenses instead this time.
Priorities. As soon as you get that brick to the chest, you're gonna go, "Hey, that vest sounds good."
It's like $1,500 lens or a really good vest.
Yeah.
Hope the gray goes away. I was at least gonna take some pictures. So yeah, there's an RCW on the books that makes any assaults or property damage during a state of emergency a felony in Washington State.
Really?
And it is totally, no one's talking about it. It's right there. And this whole time it's been a state of emergency because of COVID-19.
Right.
So technically all the property damage we've seen in Seattle and Olympia, Tacoma, anywhere, those are all supposed to be felonies with a minimum, I think it was like 5 or 10 years. So you want to talk about some BS.
Yeah.
I heard you talking about that.
Well, and the other day when Enterprises, so that day that you told me that, no, yeah, that's on the books, the enforcing it thing. So Enterprises came out here and they allowed, what's his name? The guy who's got the radio show.
Dave Ross?
No.
There's another one. Oh, I know who you're
Greg?
talking about.
What's his name? He held an event up here going to get arrested. Let's do an act of free speech and get arrested. And, they were like, well, we're going to suspend the rules, for that. And then I went down and the dude came through and he goes, there's guys that were trying to sell shirts. And so he was kicking them off. The guy from Enterprise was kicking them out. And I'm like, but I thought the rules were suspended for this.
We found out that the rules, the writ of the rules is specifically for people planning to camp out and should not be applied to people with merchandise tents, audio video equipment, or any of that. So they were misapplying it, and the guy who did that event set it out real black and white and with some legal terms and showed that precedent because it's actually been challenged before. And basically it was like, someone's already beat you on this same thing. Let's go. If you want to arrest me, let's do it. And that's why they backed off.
Well, that's what I told the guy. I was still live streaming. And I'm like, hey, I'm like, why are you guys just now enforcing this? Because there's been tons of events, and I know for a fact
yeah.
the Threepers are not permit guys. Like a lot of these two-way events have not been permitted, but nobody's ever said anything. And he's like, no, we've been on it. We've been on it the whole time. And I'm like, you're a liar.
Back when the local Antifa and BLM guys halfway welcomed me, even though I always told them I was a conservative, they used to have tables and food, and in fact, they tried to take over the whole legislative area and run an event, and weren't even going to let people in unless they paid them, which is completely illegal.
Yep. But equal justice under the law, right?
So we'll see what happens. Yeah, you won't see me too much out of this area unless it's something really big, or again, I'm open to collaborate by putting away my video camera and doing the film. And I've even talked to guys like CJTV, because he likes being in front of the camera. He likes his style interview. I don't care if you ever see me. I would be more than happy to hold a camera while someone else does that stuff.
Right.
And do the video.
Well, and that's part of my thing too, is like I very rarely turn the camera on me. Like I've never done it before, and then people are like, we don't even know who you are. And I'm like, you followed me for years, but you have no idea what I look like. And so I was like, well, I'll start turning the camera on me a little bit more and like do shows and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm more than happy like doing this. Like today, I have yet to turn the camera on me, but I've been talking the whole time.
Well, I respect what you and BCP and all those other guys do. I'm not trying to hide that I'm a conservative, but my focus is just my community.
Right.
And people throw out on the term like you're biased or you're not biased. It's like, well, I have opinions, so I actually made a group that's Bard's Eye View. You want to hear what I think? Fine, but it really is irrelevant when I'm capturing an event.
Right.
Now, I do have views, so for some reason people care what they are, so I'm going to start sharing those, but it's still not going to be when I'm at an event and videoing. And I'm not trying not to. I'm not selling out or anything. If someone wants to ask me, I'll tell them straight up.
Right. Well, it's like when I was out during the riots and stuff, like I'm filming what's happening. I'm filming what is going on. I'm like, I'm not telling, people know my channel name, but, but that's, I might have like a quip here or there, but most of the time I'm just like, hey, so Portland police is standing down. Check out what they're doing here. Da, 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 da. This is just what's happening. I do this part here for fun. Well, I was hoping to I was hoping to show like some brave people out there waving flags, but, but this part's just like the fun stuff, and some people like it. Right now I'm ignoring everybody that's commenting, and I apologize for that, guys. But
Now, how do you, are you streaming from the phone end? Okay. Because right now my software, I'm blind. I don't see comments. I cannot, unless I've got a second device, like my iPad up, which I'm not feeling safe to do unless I'm at a big event.
Right.
I totally cannot interact.
Well, are you doing it on
I use Switcher Studio.
Okay. I just do directly to YouTube. I did use a broadcasting, like a multi-broadcasting for a little while, going to like Twitch and Facebook and stuff, but Facebook keeps on like kicking me off and then bringing me back and then kicking me off, so that made it worthless, and then Twitch is worthless, so I was like, well,
yeah, I'm not multi, but the software I use allows me to record locally and stream, and if anything happens to the stream, I still have my local, and if it doesn't completely disconnect like it does here, at the end it uploads with perfect quality. So I'm sacrificing a few things. I was a multimedia illustrator in the military. The graphics on the fly capability for some of the other stuff. Hello? Hello?
yeah, Portland, Seattle, Olympia, a lot of major cities actually are talking right now about, or they have been talking for the last month or so about rioting tonight. So
Autonomous call to action.
yeah, it's an autonomous call to action. And it's actually global from what I've seen on the Twitter sphere. Like Paris is doing it, and there's like anarchists from all over the world that are supposed to be going out today. And it's a solidarity, whatever you call it.
I'll cruise through Olympia in my car and see if I see anything tonight. But that's as far as I go. This is my home
Right.
town for now.
Well, it's nice not having to travel too far. There's usually a lot going on here.
Well, we don't get the support like the left does. I tell you that.
Nope.
They got a lot more support this past couple months, more than the whole previous 7 months in last year. But it's not like, you know, if you're a left-wing streamer, damn, they really, people support them.
Yep.
I don't know why. And that's, you know, we gotta step up. That's why they're flag waving. You know, it's just whether it's our voices being silent or a pocketbook, we're not supporting the people we need to support to, you know, maintain any good positions for us in government or local, nationally.
Yep. Well, and people, you know, that's one thing that a lot of people don't understand too, is that conservatives for the last forever has ever since we had to stop being the liberals, right? As soon as we had to stop being the progressive party, all of a sudden we were like, well, the system's going to fix itself. The system will fix itself. And we've sat there and allowed the left to just completely...
A free market will.
Yeah.
But not...
You know, it just, you know, look at our justice system. Our justice system is on full display about how corrupt and just worthless it is right now. And that's one of the key pillars to our country. And it's just, you know, but people... I mean, we had a whole two or three people, you know, waving flags today, and you know, maybe the 13th there's going to be a lot of people showing up, but they don't understand that it's not one weekend a month isn't going to do it. You know, Antifa and Black Lives Matter have made change. They've actually made some changes. We got that stupid police reform thing that passed the House yesterday or day before, right? It's not going to pass the Senate, but I mean, it was still something. But yet conservatives just can't show up.
They're setting a precedent that bullying works.
Yeah.
And if it works, it works. What can we do? You know.
But
you can't not play the game with the rules that allow you to win.
Yep.
If they're winning, we gotta step up somehow.
And we don't have to be. You know, we don't have to be breaking windows.
No.
There's things that we can do to step up that is not going to be a felony.
Our pocketbook and our presence can do a lot.
Yeah.
If I don't know how many people are in this town, but let's say that there is 1,000 conservatives willing to get out. If 1,000 people showed up every time Antifa was supposedly walking down our street, and we just stood there unarmed with phones and cameras, they would frickin' run.
Oh yeah,
they'd be done.
That's what they used to do in Portland. You know, when the Proud Boys would go out, and stand in the park. Antifa would show up, and then they'd go away because if they were outnumbered, like they might yell a little bit, but they'd go away. And then eventually they stopped coming, and then Proud Boys stopped coming, and everybody else stopped coming, and then Antifa's back.
Yeah, when I first started doing this in July, I was like, why aren't people coming? And then there was a few groups in Olympia that were trying to come and be community policing or guards or whatever, and they were just absolutely condemned by city council as vigilantes.
Yep.
And just told they weren't welcome. And they were just at some point some of them were unarmed, but then there was some groups that were definitely pretty armed. But yeah, if just regular people would show up, there's no way that they could prevail. I mean, I don't know how we have, like, when they've called in the troops, you were probably here. I mean, we had Portland and Seattle, bolstering the ranks.
Yep.
Full riot gear, basically, uniformed, shields, marching down the middle of the street, obviously set up and armed for a riot. I don't see how that's allowable. That's not the same thing as exercising your Second Amendment. That's coming equipped to do battle with the police.
Yep.
Flat out.
Well, and then when the guy, I've been talking about it a lot, talking about how Back the Blue's a dying movement.
Yeah.
Like the guy that stood there in the middle of the street. Were you here for that?
I saw it on video. I was in Mossy Rock, but they beat him and dragged him behind the lines.
Yeah, and the cops just stood there.
I couldn't even believe that. I'm so glad I wasn't here, because if I had been here, I'm just saying, I would have helped an Antifa guy if somebody did that to him.
Right.
Pulled him behind lines and beat the hell out of him. I would definitely wouldn't have stood by, and I can't believe the police would do that. I couldn't believe it.
That was horrible.
I was like, oh my God. And then people were pissed off at me because I said, I'm surprised worse didn't happen. Like that was a threat. I was like, that's not a threat. That's like sanity.
That's the real world.
That's real world, you know?
I had a guy, I was sitting out here and the guy walked by and I just mentioned about how Antifa was planning on the riots tonight. And the guy just like chuckles and he's all like, like poo-poo, you know? And I'm like, you probably live here. How can you possibly deny the existence of these people anymore?
Well, I mean, there's financial things in play. Like, unless I'm just a conspiracy weirdo, you know? Like, all I could say is Burial Grounds Coffee, which is the base for BLM here, and some of the mutual aid stuff, which I have no problem with. That's a cool thing.
Right.
But I don't know when they took that space, but they were in a different space. They kept hitting Starbucks. Starbucks pulled out. Burial Grounds is a freaking awesome spot right across from where they used to be.
Weird.
Coincidence? I just don't know.
Yeah.
And then we found that there is some people working for companies that had city contracts doing some major work with the city council. And it's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
So there's some people trying to flip the council, and they're not all Republicans. There's some people who are no party, or even Democrats that are really disenfranchised. But the one dangerous thing that they're doing is they're attempting to play the middle now. And I think that's what one of the groups that's coming here on the 13th is doing. They want to appeal to and get the more moderate people who are not happy with some of the tactics that have been used and pull them in with them. But I mean, I don't know. I guess it's got to be done in phases. I try not to be involved in politics, but it's hard. It's hard not to see what's going on, especially when, you know, one of my former MOSs was psychological operations specialist. So I see what's going on. And it's like, I know exactly what they're doing.
Yep.
Oh, we got a little bit of sun.
Yay. Take my umbrella off. I do know who the guy is who is speaking, but I'm not filming him currently for his safety. I don't know if he wants me to say who he is, because for the same reason.
I mean, I'm the only guy with my name on the planet, so people know my name. It's Bard's Eye News. It's fine.
You can look him up at Bard's Eye News.
The only thing I got to worry about is my personal safety, my family, and my property. I'm a 100% disabled veteran, so my job's safe. And I don't care if a bunch of lefties don't want to hire me for photography and stuff, whatever.
Do you live in town or are you out of town?
I can get here in 3 minutes probably from my house that I have. Want me to get your picture with this?
Sure.
Let's stand over there. Ugh. Get some flare. Pretty cool. I know we don't get our picture taken much, so
We don't.
I go out of my way to get good ones of CJ and stuff when I see him. Get a horizontal. And it's bright. One more. Awesome. So bright, why don't you look at him?
I got somebody asking you, what was your period of time that you were out there
Where?
in Afghanistan?
I was in there from 2005 to 11. I was with 3rd Special Forces Group that whole time from 2005 to 11. I'm not a Green Beret. I was a psychological operations specialist, PSYOP. I got medically boarded and turned into a multimedia illustrator, but because of some other stuff I do, they really wanted to keep me. So I ended up staying there. I was in the Group S3, the headquarters, for that whole time. And then I made a move to the US PACOM Joint Intelligence Operations Center in Hawaii. And that's when I'm not a combat photographer. I've had people like Antifa tried to dox me with total wrong information, and I actually corrected them. I sent them to my LinkedIn. It's like, why didn't you just go to my LinkedIn? It's all there. I've actually got a reference from the US PACOM, not US PACOM, USAFIC, U.S. Army Special Forces Command, from the anti-terrorism director. Write up all about me, how I helped him on all these other things, and it ends with that this was just really cool. He said a lot, considering he was also my hand-to-hand combat subject matter expert.
Nice.
Because that's kind of my thing too. I've been doing Filipino martial arts for 38 years or something. Edged weapons, knives, sticks, and so I mean, a Green Beret's job is to be primarily, most of them are instructors, they're teachers. People don't realize that. There's a small percentage that are what you imagine them to be. Literally, it's like one company in the entire group. And, but their job's not to be hand-to-hand combat experts. They have guns and stuff like that. And some of them do get into it, obviously, but hey, some of us support guys, we got hobbies. Now, I didn't know I was gonna have a bone problem and stuff, and my hope was to do what they're doing, but I at least got lucky enough to where I was able to support them. And a lot of time I didn't do my job. I did a lot of different things, but I produced 36 memorials for fallen special operations soldiers. That's where I got my video background, and I put that away and mostly did graphics and photography. And yeah. So I was always in, anybody, if you're a veteran, I was always in Bagram. I occasionally went out to some FOBs and stuff if I needed to.
I had a guy ask if you were at Terran Coat, Kowt.
No. Yeah, I was at Camp Vance. Anybody knows who that was? Both of them, the old one and the new one. We had Seabees build a real cool one right on the airfield.
I had a whole bunch of people telling me to say thank you for your service.
Oh, hey, thank you. And you know what? Because of the VA, I'm still serving, and as far as I'm concerned, I mean, I like donations, but I'm getting paid. I'm getting paid, and I got all arms and legs, and so when I'm able to do things, I kind of feel like I'm getting paid to do it, because I am.
Right.
I could just stay home. But I got 5 kids that look at me, and I don't want them to see me just stay home. We should be doing something, whatever you can do.
Right.
I know I've made more than a few people run or not do things that they were thinking of doing because of my presence, and knowing that I wasn't for or against them, but I definitely wasn't, with them. I was not a protester, so that's why they don't want me around.
Yep. They don't want your, I mean, that's why, when I got mobbed the other night, I was like, I just film. I tell them the same thing, and it's not a lie. Like, I just come out to film. Like, I'm filming what's happening. Like, both sides. I'll film bad behavior on the right. I'll film bad behavior on your side.
In the middle of the police.
In the middle, yeah. And I'm like, that's all I do. So, like, if you don't want to be filmed doing stupid stuff, don't do stupid stuff. Like, it's a pretty general across the board kind of rule there.
I mean, hell, we're using phones. We're not using telephoto lenses. If they're in black block and just stay away from us, no one's gonna see nobody.
Exactly.
Stay back.
But they don't. They're like, nope, you're getting us hurt. That's what Dustin kept on telling me, the little wheelchair guy.
Oh my
He's
gosh.
like, you're getting people hurt. You're getting people killed because of.
Like they don't know who he is.
Exactly.
Come on. It's like I was joking with that about our guy here, one of our local organizers, and then he made it sound like I was threatening him, and it was just like, you know what? It's not like he tries to hide who he is. He's a face. He wants to be a face. He's a public face.
Yep.
Everyone knows who he is. Everybody knows his name. It's a given. Yeah, you can find him just like you can find me.
Yep.
I mean, hell, I've showed them my driver's license when I first started going with their marches. They were like, "Who are you?" Show us. I was like, "Fuck, I don't care. Here you go. This is who I am." You know.
They haven't come to your house yet?
You know, I think I saw him once. Oh, that's a blood sugar alert for one of my kids. We got 2 type 1 diabetics. Low jacked him. He's home though. That's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
But yeah, I think I've seen someone one time at my house. I came out with a camera and a gun, and they left.
Yeah, they've been to my house twice, and my old house twice. And where I was living at the time, I didn't live in town. I lived out in the sticks a little bit, and they came to my house and they slashed all 4 of my tires in the middle of the night, and it was on May 4th. May 4th.
That was before I even started. I was started July 4th.
Oh, this was May 4th back in 2017.
Oh, wow.
And it was right before there was doing a big riot up in Seattle. And they were trying to make it so I couldn't go. And I ended up being able to borrow a vehicle and going anyway. But yeah, and then a little bit after that, about a year later, they put posters up all over my town.
They did that for me here.
Yeah.
I corrected their docs. They said I was a combat cameraman and that I worked with the intelligence units. And I was like, no, I've never been a combat cameraman. I do have photography skills. I have been highly trained as a photographer, mostly out of the military. But yeah, I'm a graphics guy.
Well, that's the thing. They want to talk about how, right wingers are conspiracy guys, right? Because of Q destroyed. We were crystal clear and clean, great, awesome and amazing until Q showed up, right? And then all of a sudden the right's just this big, group of idiots. But I'm like, leftists can't talk about conspiracies like they're clean, like the Russia thing, but then not just all the big ones, like just the fact that when they can see us and they go, you're a cop, you're taking pictures for the cops, and they come up with this huge elaborate story about each individual person to make them fit whatever narrative they want.
Oh, yeah.
And then people believe it.
They said that about me, showing stuff to the police, but I live stream and my stuff's all online. And they can just go look.
Yep.
And it's uncut, which they used to like that, but now it's like they want it cut. Oh, my wife's gonna be saying, "Get home."
Getting yelled at.
Hi. I'll be right there. Love you, bye. We got 2 cars, 5 kids, and 3 drivers besides us. Kids driving, so until we get back. Well, have a good time. Enjoy the Capitol. Sorry, there wasn't a whole lot for you.
No, it's all right. It's a little drive, but it's not too bad.
But yeah, just definitely be in contact with me, because if you got plans to be somewhere or do something and it's covered, unless there's a reason why multiple coverage is available, I probably won't bother videoing. I'll just stick to my camera. And yeah, I don't mind doing that.
Are you on Telegram?
I am.
Okay. I'll find you. You're on Facebook too, right?
Oh yeah.
All right. I'll send you a message on Facebook, and then we'll hook up.
Yep.
Get your number.
Have a great day.
See you, man. Well, hi, guys. It's a good conversation. I mean, it's cool. It's always cool talking to other people who do this stuff and who has done this stuff. Because you guys can hear me tell my stories all day long, and of course I can back it up with a lot of footage, but hearing other people's stories, for some people it makes it real. It makes it more real, Yeah, he's a good guy. Um, he's usually around when I'm out here filming. Up here anyway, he doesn't. Yeah, like he said, he doesn't travel too far, but he's very calm, um, very measured guy. I like him. He's a good guy. As for Q, no, yeah, Q didn't. I don't think Q destroyed the Trump presidency or whatever. But I think Q destroyed the Republican Party. It didn't destroy it, but it sure hurt it. Which I'm okay. I'm a conservative, so I'm all right with that. Info about event I mentioned. Okay. Downtown San Francisco. Oh man, I really should start going to California stuff. It's not really that far, 12 hours. And with this whole recall stuff, that's it's gonna get probably a lot of stuff going on down there. Might start doing that. Taking a little trip south. Can still drive it. It's not too expensive. Oh, it's a lot safer for me to go down and film Antifa in California or any other part of the country than it is here. So like my safety is much better anywhere out of the Portland, Seattle metro areas. Not well. I was a target. BAM, by any means necessary, back during the Berkeley days. They actually contracted MS-13 to go hunt us. We were at a gas station and we had MS-13. We didn't know it was MS-13. We just thought there were a bunch of vatos coming up on us and talking tough and calling us Nazis and white supremacists and so on. But after the footage, we got the footage. Berkeley PD actually notified us and let us know that it was MS-13 that was coming up on us, and they were all like, we knew that some of them were packing, but they were like, no, yeah, you guys barely made it out. You guys were in a lot of trouble. It's but it's been a while, it's been a while. They might not know me anymore. And that's one of the reasons why I don't project my plans or anything, because if I was to say go to San Francisco and let everybody know, too far in advance that I was going to San Francisco, then I would, there'd be bulletins and stuff. At least that's how it was in the old days. It's weird now. Like there was that night, the other night when I got chased down by Antifa, there was like 7 phones and cameras going on me at all times, and I have yet to find any footage. It's weird. It's really weird. Usually that stuff is just blasted. Maybe they're not posting it because I didn't like do anything stupid or run or say anything stupid, but still I'd imagine. Oh, this was a big deal, and I'm not too worried about MS-13 coming after me again down there. At that point in time, like we had, it was only a few of us that went down to Berkeley, less than 100 people, but yet, or less than 50 people. It was just a few people that went down there, but we had Maxine Waters and Nancy Pelosi and Yvette Falarka. Y'all remember that one? Good God. But we had a whole bunch of, politicians and people just sitting there blasting us and calling us out. And like they had a roster of people who were coming down. One of the guys that was filming for me, they found him and he got sent to the hospital with a cracked skull, and he got mobbed by like 15 different people just kicking him and punching him. And he got saved by one of the Black Lives Matter organizers, which was pretty cool. And then we had to swoop in and get him and save him, and that's why we were at that gas station. That was rough. That was a rough day. There we got the patrols making sure that the troublemakers and insurrectionists stay out of the Capitol. Rumor has it, though, that they're kind of beefing up security for tonight as well because of the Antifa threat. But, I mean, there's nobody else here. Just a couple people just walking around enjoying the day. Enjoying the weather and the brief moments that it stays blue skies. My videos bring all the boys to the yard. Well, unfortunately, Trump not being in office anymore might have slowed down Black Lives Matter and Antifa, but it definitely, as most people watching this right now saw the other day, it has not made them go away. Yeah, Richard, I've seen your live streams on the Woke channel. That's how I actually found your channel. All the Antifa watches those channels, so they watch your streams as well. No, that's true about that. And that's one reason why I should not have been live streaming that night. Even though they didn't know it was me, so that way that saved me a lot. They didn't know it was me. And I do cover my face for that reason. But I don't usually go back and forth from live streaming to not live streaming. Live streaming helps my channel a lot when it comes to those things. But it does not help my safety at all when it comes to the riots and Antifa and so on. So I have to be very selective on when I live stream and when I don't. And the other night was a mistake. I made a couple mistakes that night. Just a couple. So one thing that's interesting, and I'm gonna definitely look into this, but when he was talking a little while ago, he was saying how anything that happens, destruction of property and assaults that happen during a state of emergency in the state of Washington is supposed to be categorized as a felony. So that means that in the state of Washington, all these things that happened here in Olympia, Seattle, and so on should have been felonies. These guys should not have been let go. I mean, they shouldn't have been let go anyway, but... Figure I'd come down here, show you guys the fountain for a minute. And give you another shot at the Capitol as well. I'm glad, Space Frog. I am glad that you condemn Antifa illegal activity. And I am sure that you also know that I condemn right-wing illegal activity as well. I think all illegal activity should all be condemned. Now, civil disturbance, or no, civil disobedience, I think that's a different story. I support civil disobedience, but the main key word there is civil. Oh, I'm sure I probably was being played by Wheelchair Andy. But, I mean, it was fine. Like, I'm okay with having conversations. Like, even if somebody's a total piece of crap, like, I'm okay with having a conversation with them. Like, I'll even, in the future sometime or whatever, if Dustin wants to have a conversation, I'll be fine to have a conversation with him. He's dumber than a rock, so the conversation will only go so far. But he, but I'd still be more than willing to have a conversation, because even with these complete degenerates, you can expose a lot with these people. Also, though, even though that dude was sitting there, putting on an act and so on, he still said a lot. I got him to say a lot of things. So, I mean, it was good. I think no matter what, that was a positive outcome, one way or t'other. He was an opening act for stand-up comedians. That's so just derogatory. That's so horrible. That's demeaning. Oh, it's horrible. Should we pay taxes anymore? Yes, I believe we should pay taxes. I believe that we should pay taxes, and we should do what we can to change our tax code to make it so it's better. There was that saying a long time ago, right? No taxation without representation. Well, we have representation now, and we have allowed our tax code to be perverted and manipulated and destroyed to what its original intent was. I believe I'm a big supporter of the fair tax. I'm trying the no tax thing. The house gets taken on the 23rd. Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. That's 100%. You bet. Oh no, Reaper. No, you're good. You're good. 100%. See, that's the problem with conservatives, guys. The problem with conservatives is that we can sit here and go, you know what? No taxes. I ain't going to pay taxes. I'm angry at the taxes. I'm not going to, I'm going to do my thing of not paying taxes. And yet, there's other things that we could have done. There's other things that we should have done. There's other things that we can still do. Like having an event, explaining to people that your $3+ a gallon for gas is because of taxes that you don't see any of the benefits for because your roads are garbage. There's things like that. A lot of people don't know. A lot of people think, there's a lot of people out there that think that our gas prices have to do more with oil companies and how much oil companies are charging per gallon, when the oil companies could charge a lot more per gallon if they wanted to, if we didn't have the percentage upon a percentage upon a percentage upon a percentage upon another percentage and then you tack on, 6 more percentages to the 10th degree, your gas prices would be considerably lower. But a lot of people don't know that. A lot of people don't understand that we have some of these taxes, much less what they are. The time for talk is about 40 years past due. Time to dry up the funding for our own demise. Well, you might be correct that the time for talk is 40 years late, or past due per se. But the reason that nobody has done anything for the last 40 years is why we are in the state that we are currently in. So, I don't know, maybe try something new. Again, we don't got to go from 0 to 100. We can go from 0 to 10. And then, 80. We should start at 10 first. And by the way, does anybody else have a state capitol grounds that's as cool as this? I mean, I like our capitol grounds in Washington. I've yet to find one that's better so far. But I'll keep looking, I promise. Now, why would you want to fight climate change? How dare you go against nature? What's wrong with you? Yeah, the fountain goes in phases. Oh, I'd never live here either. Or in Olympia anyway. I live in Washington, but it's more because of work. So I'll give you guys an idea. So we're right here in the middle of our Capitol grounds. So of course we got the Capitol building right here. You got the tall bit right there, and then right here in front of it is the insurance building. Over here to the right is the state Supreme Court. And then we have this one, I have no idea. This one, I have no idea. This one, I don't have any idea about any of these other ones, because I've not ever looked enough to care. But I mean, this whole area right here is just state capitol. Like, all you can see is state capitol. There's a church down there, and that's the Antifa Black Lives Matter church. The whole united rainbow flag church. And then town kind of begins right there in that gap. But that's pretty cool. I think the Biden presidency will change a lot of moderates to Republicans. I'm really happy. I'm really glad. I don't know about you guys, but I'm really glad that Trump, during his speech, dismissed the idea of the third party, because what he said was spot on. Now, granted, it was pretty much just a regular Trump speech, right? You've heard it before. But he did address some things that were pretty important. And like, I'm a conservative. I don't like it when people call me a Republican, but I will always vote for Republicans until like, but I'll vote for conservative Republicans. You know what I mean? And that's really what it matters, is that the alternative is evil. Like, not just kind of evil, like it's legitimately evil. Oh, Reaper, my wife is extremely happy about this. You bet. She likes days like this. And I came up here for a flag wave, but the flag wave ended as I rolled up, so that was fun. So I figured, you know, well, I'm here. I drove like an hour and a half to get here. I might as well hang out and BS with you guys a little bit. She likes the Sunday thing too, when I go out and film the flag wave that happens in Richfield on Sundays, because that one's usually pretty low key as well. And come to find out, so super weird. I don't know how many of you guys were actually watching live that day, that night that Antifa rushed me, but when the video saved, when it posted, it cut like 5 minutes off of it. Very weird. Very, very weird. It missed the whole, like, them coming up on me. There was a lot of people talking crap to me about that night, and I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, I didn't turn my video off the moment he told me to turn it off. Like, I filmed for a while. Like, they were like touching me. Like, they were right on me when I put it in my pocket, and that's when the stream ended. And people were like, nope. So I looked at it and I couldn't believe it. I was shocked. 69. Hey, that was you? Thank you. I didn't see who put that on there, but I will definitely use that for dinner. You bet. Thank you very, very much. Very, very much. Ezekiel, she put a tracker on him just in case. No, it's really funny because she does track me. That's not a joke. She legit has a tracker on me at all times when I do this stuff. You bet. I was only streaming. That's why I was really kind of disappointed that Antifa hasn't posted any of the videos yet, or at all. I'm really kind of surprised that they haven't done that. I mean, I did stick my phone in my pocket. My video cut when Dustin rolled up on you. We thought they were beating you down. People were commenting RAP. Oh, that's what she was mad about. Oh, that's weird. That's so weird. Because I didn't move my phone. Like, I still had it on my gimbal and everything for like a good 2 blocks when they came up on me, and I had it on me for like 2 blocks still filming. I thought I was filming, like it showed that I was still filming. And then like I turned around and they came up with a spray can with a black spray paint, and they were gonna spray paint it. And that's when I was like, okay, nope, I'm good. And I grabbed it, locked it, and then put it in my pocket. Like, that's when I thought I ended it. Oh, it's very annoying. It's very, very annoying. Part of me is glad though that it kind of cut off when it did, because I mean, there was 30 plus people that were on me, like on me when I thought I stopped the stream. So if they were still like a block away when it cut out, I guess that might be a little better. I don't know. That was bad. Last weekend, yes. It was like 3 or 4 days ago, right? Was it last weekend? Has it been that long? Yeah, it was annoying more than anything, just because like I was verbal judoing like crazy to try to just keep everybody calm. Like there'd be like a new, yeah, I did not die. There'd be like a new group of people that would run up and they're like, "Are you Jake? Is that Jake? Is that Jake? Let's get him." And then like I'm like, "Nope, not Jake. I'm just filming." Blah blah blah. And and uh, and then some of the other guys were like, "No, that's not Jake." So like I was able to get like a couple other people to kind of empathize with me a little bit. I'm like, "Dude, I'm just trying to go home." Like I was trying to leave. I was talking to the dude in the wheelchair. Like I'm like, "Go in." I wasn't trying to cause trouble or film you guys. Like I just want to go home. And they're like, "Well, we're gonna follow you to your car." And I'm like, "Well, I'm not taking you to my car, so that's not gonna happen." And they're like, "Well, we're getting tired. We don't want to walk anymore." And I'm like, "Well, then go back. It's fine. You guys can go back. I don't want to. I don't want to be here either right now. So you guys stop, and I'll dip down another alley, and then we'll do our thing." I appreciate that, Reaper. I appreciate that for sure. Yeah, that was pretty sketchy. Dustin is currently a higher rank. So they used to be the leaders, like the old leadership of Portland Antifa is not as active anymore as they used to be. Luis Marquez, he travels a lot now, from different Antifa groups to others. So like it's like he almost got promoted to being like a regional leader. And so Dustin kind of like became the loudest and ballsiest of them. So like he kind of calls the shots now, just because, and he's not afraid to show his face. So yeah, he's probably the de facto leader now, if you want to call him that. I saw something here. What has Jake done to them? So Jake is very new. Jake's very new to the whole like patriot movement, like a lot of people are, right? A lot of people are new to it. They're very angry. They believe that like nobody's done anything forever, which is, I mean, I would say the same thing, right? A lot of people haven't done much for a long time. So Jake is taking that and he's voicing it. Like he goes up and he's very brave, very new, very brave. And he'll go get right up in their face while they're rioting and like harassing cops and stuff, and he'll get in their face, film them, tell them off and so on. So and they've never really done anything to him. He's always usually had a group of people with him. I guess they jacked up his truck this morning, which I gotta go find out. I gotta look that up and see what happened to it. But yeah, Antifa does not like anybody who is willing to stand against them publicly, shall we say. That's why Joey Gibson became enemy number one, because Joey Gibson would be right in the middle of all of it. And Joey was practically fearless. And this is after Joey's been beaten, and they've come to his house multiple times, and property damage and so on. And so that made Joey, enemy number one for quite some time there. There's a storm coming. Might cut this a little short. I don't know. Those clouds don't look friendly. I said cut it short, like we're in an event or something. We're just sitting here BSing. And you guys have yet to see me. Joey Gibson. He's the leader of Patriot Prayer. He started a group called Patriot Prayer. He's hosted most of the events in the Pacific Northwest, on the West Coast, really. He's hosted a lot of events down in like California as well, Berkeley, San Francisco, free speech stuff. And then, I have a lot of footage of Joey and Tiny and Proud Boys and Patriot Prayer and Threepers, all sorts of stuff. Yep. I'd like there to be some more groups though, guys. I'll be honest. I would definitely like there to be some more groups. Some other people showing up. Some other brave souls. Richard, I don't know, but if somebody did send me $20 for gas, I appreciate them a great deal. I honestly appreciate like everybody who's donated or contributed in one way or another. And share, thank you very much. Hello, is there a flag wave down there tomorrow? I do not know if there is a flag wave here in Olympia tomorrow. I don't think so. I know there's a flag wave in Richfield tomorrow. I'll be there at the Richfield overpass. I know that next weekend on the 13th, there is like 3 different events happening here. There's a Second Amendment event. There's a free speech event. There's a no masks in Washington event. I think there's another one coming too. There's next Saturday should be a big deal here in Olympia for sure. As for if you started a group, how would you do it and what would be the rules? So, funny story, I did start a group a while ago, and it was called Citizens of America. I started it with a couple friends of mine, and the rules were very simple. Police your own, act right, be unapologetically American. One of the rules was that if you were a member or whatever, you waved an American flag. You didn't wave a thin blue line flag. You didn't wave a Trump flag. You waved just red, white, and blue, because that was seeming to have been starting to get lost at that point in time. Nobody really waved American flags anymore. We started the whole, it's funny because we started every single rally with the Pledge of Allegiance, and nobody was doing that. That's why we started doing it that way. We started every single rally with the Pledge of Allegiance. And thank you, drummer. Thank you very much. Maybe you should drink some more. I mean, I'm just kidding. I would never say that to anybody. But And now it's pretty cool. There's a lot of other places that are starting to do the Pledge of Allegiance before rallies and stuff, and I think that's awesome. I'd like to think that we had something to do with that. But the group grew too big, too fast. A lot of people were into it, and it took away from all of our lives a lot. Like, we had to put everything on hold just to try to manage it. And but we still like tried, and we tried getting some more people, and we tried getting help and so on to like keep managing it and everything. And then we had a kind of a little bit of a difference of opinion on something, and we had not a falling out. We're all still friends, but we had some differences of opinion, and it really just took too much of our lives, and our careers suffered because of it, and we kind of had to give it up. But yeah, I hope that answers your question there, Space Frog. I don't like groups. I really don't. I've always hated groups. When I created that one, it was mainly to be like, hey, this is supposed to be the answer. Fix all those reasons why I hate groups. And just because of infighting and so on, the politics and stuff that came with it. Was it recently? It was before Thanksgiving. It was back in like October, I think, maybe. What were the differences of opinion? One of the main rules for the group was that we were not a militia, and we were to make sure that we would not be seen as a militia. And we were supposed to be just regular peeps out there showing that we're just patriots over anything. And some of the other people, most of the guys that were in the leadership of it were vets, so they had they had different ideas with some of that. And I mean, I'm not saying that they were wrong. I'm not saying that I was right. Like, it's just a difference of opinion. There wasn't a falling out or anything about it. It was just, a difference of opinion. And it wasn't that they wanted to be a militia. Like, that wasn't it. There was a couple actions that came out where they could have looked like a militia. You know what I mean? Anyway, good. I'm glad you guys liked the sea lion video. I gotta keep you guys on your toes. You never know what you're gonna expect. Like today, right? It's a Saturday. You'd figure I'd be out filming some protest or whatever, and instead I'm hanging out talking to you guys. It's in the middle of Olympia. Just kind of hanging out, filming a fountain with the Capitol building in the background. You never know what you're gonna get. Why didn't you want to look like a militia? Because when you look like a militia, or when a group looks like a militia, it sets a certain tone. Like, the main point of our group was to go out and educate people on what conservatives believe in, like what freedom is really about, and so on. So if we went out there battle ready every time to an event wearing like fatigues and so on, then it would not be very productive. You know what I mean? Like, it's a perception. Like, it's a word I hate more than any other word in the dictionary is perception. But unfortunately, perception is pretty powerful. And yeah, exactly. Because then people expect militia type things from you. Exactly. It totally distracts from the message. Like, we wanted to be just America loving people, patriots, just people out there just wanting to teach the gospel of freedom. And if you're sitting there with a rifle on your chest and a vest, like I wore a vest all the time anyway, but that's for my reasons. But yeah. I will definitely be live streaming tomorrow at noon Pacific. Richard, I'll be filming the flag wave that goes on in Richfield tomorrow, so I'll definitely be back then. At the latest, like I might go live again, on my way home or something. I don't know. Independent, jump on the Telegram and we can set up a chat room or something on there. Everybody, if you're not already on Telegram and subscribed, I'll be very upset. Like, I'll find all of you and send you all a link individually. No, I won't, because I'm not that big of a nerd, but do it. Make me smile. It's the only way that you'll make sure you get everything. You guys could probably just mute this and make it a screensaver. Can't believe I've been doing this, just sitting here talking for 92 minutes. It amazes me that some of you guys stick around so long for some of these. Let's see if I can get the, there we go. Now it's centered. You guys want to take your screenshots there? Next weekend to Olympia, you bet. I will be here next weekend. The infamous Carvids. Telegram is an app. It's also, but you can do it on your computer as well. If you just go down to the description of this video and click on the Telegram link, it should actually automatically direct you to the download site, either on your computer or wherever. Yes, the Sea Lions were in Newport, Oregon. That was fun. Especially when I made it political. I did not plan on doing that. And if you guys help support me on Patreon, you can get a exclusive Discord link, which, I mean, I don't know, I might stop doing that, to be honest, because nobody cares. But maybe if you support me on Patreon, I'll give you like my personal Telegram link. I don't know, maybe. Everybody told me this whole Discord thing was cool and all, but I don't get it. I don't understand Discord. I don't get it at all. So maybe I'll change that to like my personal Telegram. People can send me stuff on there. It is. Don't say I'm going to cancel. I didn't say cancel. I said change. Come on now. It is. I think it's Telegram with the E. I think. I don't know. Discord just it seems like there's a lot of in-depth, unnecessary. Like I don't. Like one person invited me to this Discord channel. It was a Q one. It was a QAnon one, where it was just all these conspiracies and like all the evidence to back it up. Kind of weird crap, and I got lost. I was just like I really just turned my phone off and walked away. I didn't like it. I did not like it at all. There was another question I saw here. What about Twitch? I don't Twitch, I don't know. I can't get a following on Twitch. Granted, I haven't really tried very hard. And then every time that I have streamed on Twitch, it deletes my video when I'm done. So I don't like that either. I don't get it. How did your wife take the Antifa scare last week? Ooh. Well, I don't know how much she would want me to say about how she took it. But I'll say that my wife was hanging out with her nieces, and she was like, "Hey, do you guys want to see what my husband does?" And for a minute, and she turns it on right when we start walking towards the fateful ending, and she's like, why is he walking with that Antifa person? That's dumb. And she all of a sudden she sees me getting followed and chased by Antifa, and then it goes black. Let's just say that my wife was not thrilled at all, and she would not talk to me when she found out I was okay. For a little while, she was hanging out with her sister and brother-in-law. And she had them do all the conversating. There we go. Sorry, I had to put my umbrella back on. But yeah, I think terrifying, yeah, would be a good description. And I guess that she was also on there when she was also watching when the trolls were on there as well. And she was not too happy with them either. You got to remember, like, my wife is half Mexican, and like she wanted to go find them and stab them. The trolls, the people who said R.I.P. Yeah. So she was, no, she was not happy with that day at all. But she definitely did want to. She did want me to thank you guys for those of you who helped follow or helped get me some of my safety stuff early on. Even though I don't think at that moment she was I don't think she was thinking about that kind of stuff at that time. I think she thought I was a goner. What happened to Jake's truck? I don't know. I have no idea yet what happened to Jake's truck or where. It was just reported earlier that something happened to it. Yeah, Reaper. She was on the stream, not the whole stream, just kind of right at the bad part. Kind of the bad part there. Do I ever do investigative type journalism on topics other than politics? A very little. I want to. I should. I did a documentary on homelessness. That's not really political, right? I mean, it was a great learning experience for me. Space Frog. What? I like investigations. I just don't know what to, you know, what would be good to do that on, Like I love politics. Politics is my life. It's been my life since I was 6 years old, to be 100% honest. Like I'm obsessed with politics and our nation and everything that goes on with our nation. And I like being funny sometimes. But I don't know. I'm always open to ideas. I like talking to people. Sort of. I like talking to some people. I do not like really interviewing people. Usually. I have to be in the right mindset to interview people. But I'm very socially awkward. I think my wife would put it that way. I have weird social anxiety until I'm in the mode. I do have an email. It's easiest on Telegram, but to get a hold of me on Telegram, to be honest. I will say that it always amazes me in this country how you'll have people like this place right here right now, right? There's families out here, people are hanging out, taking pictures, going for walks, just another day, right? And next weekend, none of these people will be out here, but it'll be full of a whole different vibe. What about the George Floyd riots tonight? I don't know what you're asking. Are there supposed to be riots? Yes. I don't know what else you're asking besides that. I also like teaching, by the way. I know we kind of straight off of that topic, but I do like teaching. I love teaching people things. These aren't George Floyd riots. This is more fight the power riots. that are going on tonight. George Floyd is a forgotten figure. I think after they found out that he died from a fentanyl overdose instead of a police officer, that it kind of put it down a little bit. Are we scheduling riots now? Yes. As a matter of fact, yes. The riots for tonight have been scheduled for about a month now. As a matter of fact, and it's global, theoretically. It's in solidarity with Paris. London is supposed to have something going down tonight. Portland, Seattle, the usual suspects. Yeah, they convicted the officer. Yeah. Oh, well, let's talk about our justice system for a second, right? Remember the cop that got killed, Officer Sitnik? Sitnik? One of those names. But so there's a guy being charged for murder, right? But then how is he being charged with murder if he didn't die from a fire extinguisher, or he wasn't murdered? Like, George Floyd wasn't murdered. Yeah, Sicknick died like hours later. Had nothing to do with a fire extinguisher or anything like that. But yet somebody's being charged with murder. Yeah, definitely check out the book. It's funny because it's not very long, but it took me a long time to write because of the research and everything that went through it. Like, I think there might be some lightning coming, so I might have to, I'm holding on to a big metal pole right now with an umbrella on top of it. And as you guys can see, that was the nice weather that I was hanging out with. And this is what we're looking at, and the camera just doesn't do it justice. So I think I might go ahead and head on back to the car and cut this thing short a little. Again, I say cut it short. That's hilarious. But yeah, I'll see you guys later. Bye. Thank you all.